So Ipswich Town 2, Wigan Athletic 2, and I don't know whether to feel encouraged or frustrated after that. It's probably a wonderful mixture of the two.
I'm leaning more towards encouraged on tonight. I thought that was a really good performance from Ipswich. I thought it was a really good reaction to Rotherham on Saturday, in which the second half left me on a bit of a dampener, thinking there's still a lot for Ipswich to fix. And there is, and Kieran McKenna acknowledged that after this game. They have ultimately conceded twice and they have drawn a game, but for the majority of that match they were the better team against the champions-elect, and I was really encouraged that they got a couple of goals to go with their good play, because the first half was left me thinking, here we go again, but they've added some goals to the good play tonight, and that, for me, that's a big step in the right direction.
I think fundamentally the thing that I enjoyed most is that we're talking about a really good competitive game of football, when it felt this game feels to me like it was the end of Ipswich's season. We've got two very dead games coming now with Crewe and then Charlton. There's nothing on those games. There was a lot on the game tonight. Wigan could have gone up if they'd won this game tonight. I'm sure they will still go up, but it's been delayed by a few days, and it just felt to me that there was Ipswich played as if there was really something on it still, even though there wasn't for them. Like Connor Chaplin, you see how Chaplin celebrated his equalising goal. Like everyone else ran back to the halfway line, he was going mad in front of the North Stand. They've managed to keep the motivation levels in there, and some really good individual performances made up a nice team performance. So yeah, maybe I am more encouraged than frustrated.
Yeah.
I found where I'm at on the scale.
Okay, well, we'll quickly go through the game for those that haven't seen it tonight or followed it. The first half, Ipswich, lots of the ball, worked some really good positions, didn't quite create enough chances at the end of it. That just final little bit was missing, and then right on the stroke of half time, set piece, corner, Will Keane.
It's a really good header, isn't it? I know it's Will Keane, it's gone against Ipswich, but that was a really good header.
It was, yeah, and he celebrates. Cup of the year to the North Stand against his former club. I don't know whether that was anything to do with how he was treated here.
No,
I think that was actually, he went to go and get the ball back prior to the corner, and I think a fan threw it in the opposite direction, and maybe have been an instant reaction to that. But then of course he becomes the pantomime villain for the second half. And the really good thing is Ipswich could have felt sorry for themselves at half time, but they came back and they got straight back on the front foot, and they continued to play with really good intensity, and they deserved to turn that game on its head through two really well worked goals. The first one comes finally from a set piece, although I'm not gonna say it was a really well crafted set piece goal. Bursant Salina with a sort of a strange mid-drift level delivery, deep free kick.
Do you know what that reminded me of? You know, in rugby, where like a fly half will try and play like a little grubber kick and kind of break the lines a little bit with a skidded little ball. Maybe let's talk rugby league. We'll talk about Wigan, aren't we? It was a little grubber kick through, and it's bounced off a defender and it's finished at Chaplin's feet, and he's the man you want there, isn't he?
Great finish. Connor Chaplin in the box. Good feet in a tight area. A goal that we've seen him score before. I think he's on 10 for the season now. Worked himself half a yard, found the bottom corner. But the second Ipswich goal is the one we've really got to talk about. Really good build-up from deep area. Wes Burns beat a man to start with. I think Morsey and Chaplin are all both involved. Burns eventually crosses from the right. Thompson with a little cushioned header. And Sam Morsey's there, as he has been. Johnny on the spot, late arrive in the box, and a volley high into the roof of the net, and it was no more than Ipswich deserved at that stage.
You know what that one reminds me of? If we're doing comparisons here, that reminds me of kind of a stripped back light version of Emir Hughes' goal against Newcastle in an Easter game. The finish wasn't as difficult for Morsey. He really should have scored when it got to him, but just a thumping finish, arriving like that and finding the roof of the net. It was like, that's his third goal under McKenna, and that's what we want to see from him, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I thought Ipswich would go on and win it from there, but again, McKenna sat here afterwards and said tonight is about the best and the worst of us, and the best of us we've talked about. The worst of us is, again, they've just let their guard down a little bit. Will Keane had forced a good save out of Christian Wharton, who had come to the rescue a couple of times today. And he had the last laugh, didn't he? It was Dominic Thompson, just a little bit flat-footed in the box. He came on for an injured Matt Penny at half-time. Power with the cross, and Keane kind of arrived through a gaggle of Ipswich defenders to force the ball home on the edge of the 6-yard box. And and it finishes 2-2, and it's a reminder of how far Ipswich Town have come under McKenna, but how far they've still got to go to be a real force in this division. Anyone you want to pick out individually before we wrap up?
I thought Chaplin played really well. I enjoyed his performance tonight. First half, he was involved in everything that Ipswich did, of note really, and then obviously he scored the goal as well. But I think just the middle of Ipswich Town's pitch this evening is something I want to point out, because we're so used to talking about everything coming through Wes Burns, and Burns contributed in this game, but it didn't all go through him. They played through the middle of the pitch, and that's probably why Chaplin was able to have such an influential game. I thought Morsey played well. I thought Backinson played really well, breaking up play and landing on loose balls. They just looked stronger through the middle of the pitch, which they need to be more threatening from areas other than the right, and that was pleasing. What about you?
Cameron Burgess for me. I thought people were talking about, does Baggett keep his place after a fairly solid debut at Rotherham, but Burgess came back in as the senior player and really offered a reminder of how well he was playing prior to that red card at Shrewsbury. I thought he was immense at the back for Ipswich Town. I've mentioned Walton. We're just getting so used to him making key saves at vital times for Ipswich. For me, he's the best goalkeeper in this division by a country mile. But I agree with you. You could go through that whole team. Chaplin, his most effective performance as a number 10 for quite some time. McKenna agreed after the match. A couple other notes I've got. The most pathetic of dives from Joe Bennett when Sam Morsey rubbed heads. Well, I'm going to do it to you.
Is this crossing a line?
A little bit weird.
Do it.
That's about as close as he got, and then you go down holding your face very dramatically. That wasn't very good, but I think we should probably finish there. I wasn't expecting it to go down that road. Ipswich Town 2, Wigan 2. I'll see you at Crewe.